Hello, our lesson tonight is on two-step equations. Now recall from our previous lesson on solving equations that the object of solving our equation is to isolate the variable. In other words, get that variable all by itself. And in order to do that, we're going to do the opposite operations that are being done to the variable. So let's look at our variable. Our variable is x. Look what's being done to x. There's a 2 in front of it. That means that x is being multiplied by 2, and then 5 is being added. Those are the two operations being done. If we were following order of operations, we would multiply the x by 2 and then add 5. So now let's undo those in reverse order. In order to undo adding of 5, we would subtract 5. And to keep our equation balanced, we would subtract 5 from the other side of the equal sign. So 5 minus 5 is going to be 0, so that goes away, and we have 2x remaining equals, and then 11 minus 5 equals 6. Now we'll undo the second operation being done to the variable, which is multiplication of 2. To undo multiplication, we would do the opposite, which is dividing. So divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 equals 1, and 1 times x equals 1x, and then 6 divided by 2 equals 3. So the value of the variable that makes the equation true is x equals 3. Okay, here we have another two-step equation. Again, our variable x is being multiplied this time by the number 7, and then negative 4 is being added. We will undo those in reverse order. So what do you think we would do first? If you said add 4 to both sides, you're correct. We would undo subtracting 4 by adding 4. And when I add negative 4, it's the same as subtracting 4, so I use those terms interchangeably. Negative 4 plus 4 is going to be 0, so those go away. We still have 7x, and then 3 plus 4 equals 7. Okay, what's the next step we're going to do? That's right, we're going to divide both sides by 7 because x is being multiplied by 7. So when we do that, we get x equals 1. All right, another two-step equation. Go ahead and pause your video, then restart it to check your answer. Welcome back from pausing the video. Our first step is to subtract 10 from both sides. When we do that, we have n divided by 7 remains on the left side of the equal sign. And then negative 4 minus 10, that's the same as negative 4 plus negative 10. That would equal negative 14. Now the next step we're going to do is undo dividing by 7 by multiplying by 7. Okay, so if I multiply by 7 on the left side, the 7's cancel, and I have n by itself, and then negative 14 times 7 equals negative 98. That's the value of the variable that makes the equation true. So how'd you do? All right, so now we have solving equations that contain fractions. And we're going to go ahead and do the same steps we did before. We're going to undo what's being done to the variable in reverse order. So the variable is being divided by 15, and then 1/5 is being subtracted. So let's start by adding 1/5 to both sides. When we do that, the 1/5s cancel. We get x over 15, that remains on the left side of the equal sign. 3/5 plus 1/5 equals 4/5. All right, now we're going to undo dividing by 15 by multiplying both sides by 15. And the 15s will cancel, which leaves x by itself. And then over on the right side, I would go ahead and cancel 5 and 15, and then multiply. So that would be 4 times 3, which is 12. So the value of x that makes the equation true is x equals 12. All right, so here we have the exact same equation that we just solved. And I'm going to show you another technique you can use. This technique is called clearing the fractions. We can use this technique when solving equations that have a lot of fractions in them. And so what we do is this. We simply multiply all the terms of the equation by a common denominator of the fractions. And it could be any common denominator, although the least common denominator is the best because it's the most efficient. So looking at my denominators, I have a 15, I have a 5, and a 5. And so the least common denominator for 5 and 15 would be 15. So if I multiply all the terms by 15, I will cancel out all those denominators, and I won't have any more fractions. This is a good technique to use if you especially struggle with manipulating fractions. So here's what I do. Okay, I'm going to multiply each term by 15. If I multiply x over 15 by 15, the 15s cancel out, and I have x remaining. If I multiply 15 by 1/5, the 5 will cancel in the denominator, become a 1, and the 15 becomes a 3. And so that's going to be 3 times 1, which is 3, and there's a minus sign. So bring down the minus sign. So 1/5 now becomes 3. See that? On the right side of the equal sign, the 5 and 15 will cancel. 5 becomes a 1, 15 becomes a 3 again, and I get 3 times 3, which is 9. That's what I get when I multiply each term by 15. Now that greatly simplified my equation, didn't it? I got rid of all those fractions. And now I can finish by just adding 3 to both sides. And I get x equals 12, which is what we already had before. All right, so that technique, again, is called clearing the fractions. It's multiplying every term in your equation by a common denominator, and ideally the least common denominator. All right, go ahead and pause your video. I'd like you to try clearing the fractions technique, and then check your answer and see how you did. All right, welcome back from pausing the video. If I multiply every term by the least common denominator, LCD, the LCD of 4, 2, and 8 would be 8. So I'm going to multiply 3/4 by 8, multiply 1/2 by 8, and multiply 7/8 by 8. If I multiply 3/4 by 8, the 4 cancels and becomes a 1. 8 becomes a 2, so I get 2 times 3 is 6, and I have x. So this term becomes 6x. Okay, here 8 and 2 cancel. 8 becomes a 4, 2 becomes a 1. I get 4 times 1, which is 4. On the other side of the equal sign, the 8's cancel out, and I'm left with 7. So how'd you do so far? Is this what you had when you multiplied everything by 8? All right, so now from here it's a simple two-step equation. No more fractions. Subtract 4 from both sides. That leaves us 6x equals 3. And now divide both sides by 6. We get x equals 3 over 6, and that reduces to 1/2. Okay? All right, thanks for listening. Good job. Hope to see you soon. And remember, read some books.